Yo, what is up, my Callens? Again! So, today, I'm going to build a city block over here. It's going to be quite a small block, but as you can see, I've already started, and I didn't record, because, yeah. But, I'm going to build this up. Not going to do interiors, but I am just going to build the outsides. I will do interiors later. So, in the last video I built that, which took a while, and I don't even know how long this is gonna take, because I have to come up with new designs for everything, and I'm gonna do it all in survival this time, instead of using HoloPrint to make that. But, I think now, I will get on with building this. So, what I do is, I just always extend whatever well, I don't always extend it, but I would have if I wasn't going to extend this one, I would have these slabs and trapdoors because it just makes it look a lot nicer. Like right here, I'm still going to put it, even though I'm not going to extend it right there. Because the harsh transition between the base and the top part is a little strong sometimes. And I am actually going to put support beams on this one. So if I just go up by that much, that should be good. Because when I do an interior for bump window, yeah, that'll be good. When this isn't going to have a very detailed interior, well, it is going to be detailed, but it's not going to be a very big interior, which just helps with keeping it smaller. Oh, and I gotta sleep because there's phantoms. Huh. And I also have to get more spruce wood. So whenever I run out of spruce wood, I just go gather a whole nother shulker of this. Because I use a whole bunch of it. Also, my I'm almost to 2 million blocks mined, which most of that is from the amount that was here and over there. But there's a whole lot of blocks because most of that is in this world. And now that I've done that, I use a dark color, and I'm going to do in the shade style of this, not this yellow building, but I go around and I just place it kind of randomly, but not really. I have a pattern I like to do, and it if you do it randomly, it's pretty nice. Except not completely randomly, because you're still doing a gradient if you want to use this. So, with that, now I go on to my next, which would be my planks, and I just go and place my planks about, and you don't want to just completely cover every single um block below it, because you might want to change it. And I just realized right here I placed these wrong. Ooh, well, give me a second, let me fix this. So, you just want to keep doing this. Just, I like this way of texturing much better than that, or the random texturing, because, I mean, random, it's not horrible, but, I mean, I've used that way too much, and this just, I would say, makes it better. But now you go with your lightest block, which is going to be stripped acacia log, and I wouldn't place it randomly with sideways and upside down, but I just like to do this. I might add a block. I don't know if I'm going to add my smooth red sandstone there. I'll see how it looks. It's just, with this, you just gotta figure out what you like. So, it's, I, I kind of learned this really recently because I was building, like, the yellow building over there for a very long time, and, oh, I don't want to shoot the spruce, but I, I didn't see much wrong with it, but this just looks, I mean, there's not much wrong with it, this looks just better, in my opinion. Now, some people, they don't like textures in builds. They just like one single solid color, which, I mean, that's not bad. It's just kind of boring sometimes with a really large build. But, I mean, with my mountains, you can't really see the texturing other than the bottom to the top, because it goes from tough to gravel to stone to andesite to light gray wool, but you can't really see it, unless if I get my trusty spyglass and go up here. And I don't know if I really like the walls on the top or how much it goes up. Might change that. Okay, so now you just gotta make the roof. I like my roofs to all be different colors and have their own unique stuff. I like the variety, but some people like very uniform roofs, which is fine. I think I might just go with a deep slate brick roof. So let me go grab that. Also, on Minecraft Bedrock, if you want a lot of deep slate, cobble deep slate, one of the best ways that I do it is I just fight a wither to get a shulker box. It is so fast, especially if you build a wither skeleton farm. So much faster than just mining it. Also, when you mine a mountain, you get a whole bunch of stone. I have 2 whole double chests full of shulkers of stone. And actually, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go with the deep slate and stone roof, which I have not done before. So it should be pretty interesting. And of course, I want it to be a little lighter at the top, so I'm gonna grab some andesite. And it's really useful to have a little crafting setup right where you're working, like with this crafting table, but I have one over here I'm gonna steal because I need the stone cutter. So you just place it down to where you're working, where it won't get in the way. So I'm going to need, what would be best? I want stone bricks. Think I am gonna go with go with stone bricks. No, I want just stone stairs. And, I mean, don't be afraid to change what you're doing if you don't like it. Okay, so for this roof, want to have it kind of toned down a bit and just go at a slower slope, which is different from a lot of the other builds in this area, which is something I really like to do, is just have uniqueness. Which, if you just go... Ooh. Yeah, I like this way more than the other one. So, just using the 2 sides to test different things, like especially with a wall, you can use 2 different sides to test whether or not you like it. So now, I just gotta fill in the middle with stone. And I'm going from the darker stone to the lighter andesite, which helps with bringing the eyes up. And now it's time to add the andesite. I am just starting to vary up my roof textures now. Like I did it for this building. You can do it for that one or for those ones, but it can sometimes make it nice, and you don't always have to do it, I think. It's just helpful sometimes. And for roofs like these, I like to have a one block just line going from each high point to each high point. Well, now that this roof is done, you gotta finish the walls, because you just don't know how tall you're gonna make the walls. Now for this, I'm gonna add a pillar in the middle, and that should help it look a little better once I add in the other wall blocks, which I'm gonna need to go grab again. And the reason why I didn't put these all the way around is because I know there's going to be other buildings around, and why would you waste the materials? And especially if you know there's going to be other buildings around and you have it sticking out on some sides, you don't want it to stick out on that side because you might gonna have a gap. If you want a gap like I have over here, right here. Except this actually came from a mistake of me accidentally doing this. But having little things like this sometimes can help make your little thing better. Now, I have the most experience with building in a medieval style, but when I play in other worlds with my friends, I just like to build in other styles, like I build skyscrapers, which I just steal them because I'm not good at making them, but I'm making a pretty good looking mansion all by myself in a current realm that I play on. So, it's just build what you like. You don't have to follow my advice. For building a modern style with big buildings, you can texture it where it's darker underneath the roof and then lighter at the bottom or in the middle, and have it be darker at the top and the bottom. I've seen that before, and it gives a good look of shadows and little weathering at the bottom, but now I need the blocks. And I'm going to see what it looks like with this smooth red sandstone. There aren't that many orange blocks, so that I can think of right now, so kind of getting lighter and lighter is kind of hard. And I just realized I want that to extend right there. But this is just... And I used to conform all my buildings to the path that I made, but I didn't really like it. It was just a whole lot easier to do and build en masse. Like here is where I had the path, and right here is where I'm going to extend the path to, and just like over here. And I am actually pretty fine with the smooth red sandstone, so I am going to use that. Well, now this building is done for now, and I'm going to go update my map. I don't do this after every single building that I do, but I want to do it for this one. So right here is where the building is going to pop up, and hopefully it doesn't pop up right here. And when I come over here, I don't like to update it as I'm flying. I like to just pop on the ground and open it. And it blends in very well with the path, which I wish that the deep slate was darker, but sadly it's not. But from out here, it looks just fine. It looks different, and that is what I like. I really like to fill in a map, and mapping my entire area that I've built is really, really fun. Now, I don't have a map for the spawn area, but I haven't built much. In fact, let me go and map it right now. I am 2,000 blocks away, so it's going to take a little bit to fly there if I was to fly in the overworld, but I actually built another tunnel between my first and second video. I don't have that blinged out of another hub to... I haven't really built anything in the nether. But if you just fly up here and go over here, about 200 blocks in the nether this way, you'll find the portal and spawn. This is all I've built here. I'm going to build a little village at some point. But if I make a map, hopefully, yeah, it's about in the center. That's nice. Over on the other side of the portal is where my little wither skeleton farm is. So now I need to decide a base for another building. Now I could just make a little one-story building, which I think that is what I'll do. So a thing that I have learned to do is if you put like oak log and you put strip spruce and then you strip and it just blends in nicely. And actually I'm going to have this building sink in a little bit. So I am going to need to extend this building at some point, but not right now. So right here. Now it's a little nice gate. Well, little nice frame. And I thought that having birch, stripped birch, obviously, as the little walls for this is going to be really, really nice. And now I'm going to work on the pathways. Gonna fix all the pathways that I've destroyed. And the way that I do paths is that I have a lot of cobblestone in the center where people would walk. And I just kind of spread it out randomly elsewhere. And it makes for fine looking pathways. And now I think it's time to do a roof on this. I think a simple dark oak and spruce will suffice for it. Put my preliminary little center beams because I think because of the way I have it with the set in, it will look a whole lot better if I for sure have it. And now I'm going to place the spruce. And I'm going to add another little center line to this one. I think it just fits. And more birch. Still going to have it set in one, which means I'm going to have to put upside down spruce stairs right there. And extend that pillar up. So from back here, it does look a little weird with this being right there and that being right there. If this was a standalone building, you would have little jut outs and have it all set in one. But this is a city where you don't get that much space. So I think that this is good for now. So I decided that there hasn't been that many there wasn't towers too close to where I'm building this tower, so I decided to build the tower right here, and I decided to go with a kind of different tower. I used a lot of mud, which I'm so glad that I built a wheat nano farm for this, because with my previous wheat farm, I would only get like 2 stacks of wheat each time, and then I'd have to plant it again and replant it, but it is so much better to just have a nano farm because villagers can't farm wheat, they turn it into bread. And I decided to go with pale oak because I just had so much pale oak from my city hall build, and I am not that big of a fan of this roof. I had changed it once, and it's just not my favorite thing. And then I decided to build another building, and I think I built a whole building without recording between these. Yeah. So it goes from about day 330 to day 350 because I got a little distracted. I didn't want to build, so I was working on my castle, which is built by Blue Nerd, which you can go find that by just searching Blue Nerd Castle on the YouTube, and you'll find it. And after this, I built the last remaining parts of this off camera because I just didn't want to record. But I had to go gather some more acacia because I'm very poor on acacia. And this is about to be ending. I'm gonna go back to real right now. So here's the completed city block. Now, this isn't that big of a build, but it hasn't taken me nearly as long as that. And I still had to design it in survival. Now, I have not done the interiors yet. I'm gonna do that if I want to. But I think it looks just fine for me building it in survival and designing in survival. Except for this building. I don't like it because it's so wide on this side, but then it's also so short with only three things. So that does look weird. And I had updated my map on a previous recording of this outro, but the outro was recording 5 FPS, so couldn't use it. But if you look over here, here's the map. I like to show the map after every time I do a little bit of stuff. So there's one building, there's 6 buildings right there, and a little area for eating because the tough roof building is gonna be a restaurant. Now, I think that this tower is just fine. Maybe add little windows or something on this to make it better. But this building I like. I like this building. And also this one. And now I don't really know how to end this. So I'm just going to say bye!